Let's increase the body temperature. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Let's give some twist the body. So 1, 2, 1, stretch, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and let's move our knees up, up. Let's have jumping. Breathe in by nose, breathe out by nose. And you'll find the nose will be clear. And some of the key heavy Sukshma Yoga. So 1, 2, 3, come back. 1, 2, 3, come back. 1, 2, 3, and come back. 1, back, 2, 3, and come back. Left, right, left, right. Increase the distance. Right, as much as possible, slowly, as much as possible. Increase, stretch, stretch more and more, stretch more and more. You can move the legs. 1, breathe in, 2, breathe in, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Slowly come back to original position. Observe your metabolism. Just 5 minutes of Sukshma Yoga will actually give you a lot of metabolic activation in the body. Twist your trunk and try to be legibly slow. Don't be fast. Okay. 1 and 2. 1, cross hands. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Stretch your side waist. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. And now press yourself up and down, up and down, and observe your waist must be moved, okay, so that the fat on your tummy will get reduced, and in opposite direction. And relax. So this 5 minutes of your Sukshma Yoga can give you an increase in metabolism. So movements of hands, legs with all the joints, very essential. So quick 5 minutes of this Sukshma Yoga. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The dhyana. So let's be in the lotus pose where you are folding your legs, crossed leg. Your backbone is straight. Gentle smile on the face. Your hands are just above your knee. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out. Breathe in. Just imagine points in your body which are touching to the ground. Just below the knee, thighs, Muladhara chakra. Try to have Mool Bandh. Take a deep breath. Setting up Mool Bandh. And breathe out. Observe the sensation in your backbone, chest while breathing. Slowly breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's concentrate on the pituitary gland, Bhrukuti Madhya, exactly 1 centimeter above the line joining our eyebrows. And let's decide today's asana to do it patiently, to do it with joy, without any jerks. Rub your palms. Rub them on the neck, ear, your face, your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. So people who would like to learn now today's advanced asana, it's a crow pose. Somebody has put last time in a chat box, we should know crow pose because we know now Mayurasana, peacock pose, we know Shirshasana. So let's go for the crow pose. Before going for that, let's think about its contraindications. So first of all, if you are not doing these asanas for a year or half a year or 6 months, please don't do it. Just watch it and then slowly you can start it. Very important second point is that any ailment, pregnancy or monthly cycle, it should be avoided. Any surgery, the crow pose should be avoided. It's a level 3 asana, and when you do it, almost it touches the core strength of the body. So your core strength is challenged. So whenever you are weak or you are not taken any proper sleep, please don't do it. Then if you have a recent any ailment and you are just recovering from it, please don't do it. Rather, I will say for anything you should first contact your doctor, family physician if you are trying for the crow pose. No jerks are accepted in the crow pose because that can cause injury. So though it looks very lucrative when we do crow pose, so more pains, more gains, but at the same time it is risky too. So my request to everybody, do not go on the glamour of it. Yoga is not for glamour. So it happens, so you practice it and one day you will be able to do crow pose. No special special kind of efforts you should take. Only thing is you should keep on doing whatever yatha shakti nirantaram. Migraine, high blood pressure, or people having any kind of wrist ailment, carpal tunnel syndrome, or people having even a small fever or even a small weakness, the crow pose should be avoided. Reversibly, it's sometimes known as crane pose, or it's a bakasana. So bak is a crow in Sanskrit. Bak is known as crow. So here the buck or the crow, which actually stands on two hands, and it is said that the hind legs are converted into fins, or when the crow actually stands, the fins, it will fly with the fins, but at the same time the when it stands, it will stand on the hands. So basically crow pose, in case of crow pose, you have to be very alert with respect to your head, with respect to your hands, wrist and your elbows. Let's do the preparation of crow pose. So first preparation is that your hands should be very clean. Okay, so you should warm up your hands. Warm up. Let's take out everything from the nose. There should not be even a small kind of sneezing from the nose. So let's do that, and let's try to do first the Bhastrika. So let's do it. Just take out everything. So you will find that the droplets of your this little bit droplets of sneezing, they come out. So you know that the mucus is most sterile and it engulfs the microorganism and it will take out. So there should not be anything in your nose because you are going to tilt your head. Third thing, let's do a preparation. So first of all, in a preparation, let's have little bit of plank pose. Planks, right, this way. And adjust myself. So plank pose, 1, 2. Do not try much, otherwise you will be tired. Further, just sit in Mandukasana this way and little bit bring yourself forward so that your weight should be on the wrist. 1, 2. So Mandukasana and then Manduk Chalanasana. Okay. So your wrist, they are little bit stretched. Then take it in a reverse direction, this wrist, and very slowly bring your upper portion forward, bring it back, forward, in opposite direction, but your dorsal portion of your palm is touching the ground. 1, 2. Make sure you are very light here. You cannot take a liberty to overweight your wrists. Now your wrists are fine. Over the period of time, you should try the different preparatory asana, and then only you should go for the actual crow pose. So one more asana which you should try is Malasana. So in case of Malasana, what you can do, you can keep yourself on toes and try to split your legs as much as possible. Okay, there are various variations of Malasana, but at least you can have one variation here. Your backbone should be as straight as possible. Malasana. Right? So Malasana you have done, and you have done the plank pose. You have done the wrist exercises, wrist Sukshma Yoga, and then further you can also free up your wrist very simply in opposite direction. Every day you have to have a little bit of the cobra pose also, that is the Bhujangasana. So let's do one Bhujangasana so that it will increase the core strength of our trunk. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, again 1 and 2. Then for some days you should try the Ardha Bakasana. So what you can do in case of Ardha Bakasana, you can keep your both the legs first on toes. Legs are on toes, you can see them, right? And then further you can bring one leg here, right, and bring it back. Again another leg and bring it back. So such exercise, such Sukshma Yoga, you can do it for some time and then go for Ardha Bakasana. So in case of Ardha Bakasana, you can try this practice for some days and then you can go for the Bakasana. So for Ardha Bakasana, what you can do, be on toes like in Malasana. Remember that our breath is normal in case of crow pose. So what you can do, first just touch your head to the ground and be there like this. So for some days you can do practice of just keep your elbows inside the knee folds and be there like this. So here you will find you can be on toes. Slowly you can release your toes from the or lift your toes from the ground. So 1, 2, slowly you can release one toe and another toe, still your head is touching the ground. So that is a second step. So you have done Ardha Bakasana now. The third step is try to take your head little bit up, keeping your elbows touching your knees or inside of the knee, and try to balance your whole weight on your palm. So your palm should be spread with fingers touching the ground. Your elbows are actually touching your legs. Touch your head to the ground and very slowly try to lift your leg and then try to lift your head, come back again. Again you can do this practice little bit, 1, 2 and then 3. Remember, you don't have to jerk. If you jerk, your wrist will get an injury. So don't jerk. Just try this. So 1, 2 and 3. So slowly now, don't touch your head to the ground. Now what we need to do, we need to keep our hands as much as possible apart and slowly lift yourself so that your legs, they are stretching your foot, they are stretching away from the body. So this way you can touch them, okay, and your weight is, your legs weight is on your elbows, right? Very good. Some of you are doing good. Your hands, the whole arms as well as your wrist, they are actually supporting your whole body, right? So that is a Ardha Bakasana. So in case of Ardha Bakasana, what do you need to do? Slowly just be on. Now your neck, you should try to see forward. If you see downward, then again there is a challenge, you may fall down, right? If you see downward. So if you see forward, then only you can balance yourself. So let's do it again. So 1 and 2. You'll find that you have a lot of strength required in your chest also. This is a, you can say it as a Ardha Bakasana. Now after the Ardha Bakasana, take little bit of rest and do the reverse asana. Little bit of reverse asana. So you can also try for the Ushtrasana. So opposite way. So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. This is a Ardha Bakasana, and we'll go for now Purna Bakasana. So once, so you'll find that if you are doing it continuously, you will definitely be sweating. So let's take deep breath, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Take a deep breath, breathe out, breathe in, slowly breathe out. Let's do a Sukshma Yoga again. Remember, we have to be very patient in case of Bakasana. It is a balancing asana. At the same time, it is a asana of strength. So don't be in a josh. Be relaxed in asana. Okay. So it will make our complete health drud, strength. Tato dvandva abhidyataha. So our dvandva will be going out. So let's have a little bit of Sukshma Yoga so that we can do a Purna Bakasana. Let's have a Chakki Chalanasana in a clockwise way and Chakki Chalanasana in an anti-clockwise way. Let's try for the Ardha Kranchasana. 1 and 2. Okay. So now our core is free for the complete crow pose, that is Bakasana. So let's pose for the Bakasana. So again, similarly, our palms should be this way, facing opposite of our body, or our fingers are exactly spread. As much as possible, if your fingers are spread, you can definitely do better and better. Then further, you have to put your knees in armpit. Try to put them in armpit. Initially it may not go, and it may try to spread out of your armpit, right? But you can definitely keep them on arms. But how to do that? Be on toes, right? You have to see forward, not downward. So very slowly walk towards your hands. Keep your knees armpit. You have to be on your toes. You cannot be like this in a Malasana. You should be on the toes. Knees are inside your armpit, and then you have to see forward. Do not jerk, you will fall down. So very slowly try to lift yourself in a way that you have to see forward and come back, land peacefully with a balancing act. Let's do it again. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Again, let's put our knees in the armpit very slowly and lift. Try to see forward, and you can land yourself. So if you fall down, you can land or you can come back, but do not fall forward. Okay, let's do it again. So 1 and 2 and come back. So here you will find that you can also have a different variations of it. Very good. I think some of you, they are doing very good, right? So take a deep breath. Breathe out. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. You will also find that one crow pose is equivalent to actually 5 to 6 dips. So if you are doing crow pose for 50 seconds, you are almost doing some 50 dips. Or you can also have a dips in crow pose. So there are n number of variations are there in crow pose. One of them is again a Padma Bakasana, or even Pincha Mayurasana or Pincha Bakasana. So these variations, they are given in the Hataratnavali, they are given in the B.K.'s Iyengar, the yoga book. They are also given in the Satyananda Saraswati's book of Bihar School of Yoga. Okay, so that was a Bakasana. The benefits are immense. Very important point which I missed is that never do Bakasana with anything in stomach. Number 1. Number 2, the inner should be with a tight supporter, right? So those people who just have a kind of trouser of what you can say, the trouser of the sports, no, you should have a tight inner supporter. So that was the Bakasana. So let's go for the question answer. And I'm sure you might have faced a lot of challenges in Bakasan.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Raghavji, for another advanced asana. I request everyone to post your questions here. The first question I received, I think this was posted the time you were teaching Ardha Bakasana. Is the forearm resting on chest or just inner side of knees?
Forearm, sorry. Okay.
So, please asking, is the forearm resting on the chest or just inner side of the knee? So
No, forearm should be actually kind of an 80 degree to the ground. Forearm, right? The arms, what arms you can say that they are actually touching the outer side of the chest, right? That is the way. So it should be like this. So here, this way.
Any other questions? Can you share some asanas to increase the core strength as well as wrist and shoulder strength?
Yeah, so see what you can do every day, you can try for the Bhujanga Sanchalanasana or Bhujangasana and Sanchalanasana. Then you can try for the what we say is as a Surya Namaskar Chaturbhuja Dandasana, that you can try for that. So it will increase the strength. Also the Ardha Mayurasana you can try, right? So for strength you can first keep your complete palm in Chaturbhuja Dandasana. Slowly you can keep your only fingers, then you can remove one finger and do Chaturbhuja Dandasana. That will increase the strength of the wrist and your hands. And apart from that, for the core strength, Navasana is a one good asana, and Kraunchasana. So this will increase your strength. Also try opposite asanas along with it, like Dhanurasana. You should try whenever you do Navasana, you should also go for Dhanurasana. And also try the asana like the what you say as a Malasana, so that your strength of your middle portion and strength of your legs, they'll be good. Try to start with the sun salutation, because that will actually integrate your body. So that way you can slowly start the strength. Also, if you keep your diet proper, then the strength will be increased proportional to your yoga. Otherwise strength will not increase.
Another question. So two questions I have. One is, can this asana be demonstrated from front view? And the second is, how to fit in the knee in the armpit?
Yeah, okay. And that's a good question. Okay, I'll try to demonstrate it. Of course, so many times crow pose should not be done, but it's okay. So here, but if I demonstrate it in the front view, you may not able to see it anything. That's why I demonstrated in the side view. Anyway, see the front view is like you are seeing me only one portion of it, right? And if I do it Purna, you will see just my head, nothing else. Okay, so you are not able to see anything except my head. And whenever, so second question, see, whenever you try this way, okay, what will happen, that your knee will try to push your arm, right? But at the same time, if your arm and wrist is not strong enough, it will try to come out. It will try to come out this way. So that is the reason when we started, we have done first the Sukshma Yoga of wrist. So let it go out. No worries about it. The only thing is what you can do when you start it, you have to be on toes. Number one. Number two, you should see forward. If you see downward, it will go this way. If you see forward and keep sufficient distance between your hands, then it will stop. Your arms will stop your knee. If you keep this way, then your knee will go out. Right? So there should be a sufficient distance between the hands.
I don't think so there are any more questions. Yeah, that's it for today.
Yeah, so I'm sure you will enjoy crow pose, okay, and you will send me photographs of your crow pose so that I can collect them, and if you have any questions, definitely we can discuss on Friday, right? But my request, don't jerk in crow pose, don't go on glamour of crow pose. Of course, I was speaking during crow pose. Please, you don't speak. I was in the display mode. So you don't speak in crow pose. I should not. Thank you so much, friends. Please advise your suggestions in comment box.